One of the questions that we priests are asked over the years is the question that deals about today. If Jesus is God, why did he have to be baptized? He didn't have any sin, so why did he have the need? To answer that question, I'm going to use a relating story to get you guys to think. I know it's tough in the morning, but if I have to think at this early, you do too. A number of years ago, a lady calls me, and I was the priest on duty that day. She says, I've been asked to be a godparent. I want a sponsor letter. Says, okay, what's your name? Where do you live? Are you registered here? No. Okay, well, let me look you up. You're not on the registers anymore. Do you get envelopes? And at this point, if I would have known, I would have taken the phone and put it out here. Because she screamed, all you Catholic think of is money. Says, wait a minute, ma'am. I'm just trying to establish if you're a parishioner or not. If you are a parishioner, we may have misspelled your name in our census program. I was just asking, for a number or the correct spelling of your name. Well, to make the long story short, she didn't go to church, but she was demanding a letter because she was asked to be a godmother. Says, ma'am, I cannot give you that letter. Now, for you guys, why would I not give her the letter? It is not because she was not registered. It was not because she didn't give money in her envelopes. It's not because she didn't live in our territory. It was very obvious that she really didn't practice her faith. It was obvious, just by the questions that I asked her, that she didn't go to church. That's the reason. Now, how does this have to deal with the baptism of the Lord? Think about it another way. What's the purpose of baptism? Many people believe that the focus of baptism is to forgive original sin. That's not primary. That's secondary. Oh, that was taught by the nuns. The primary focus of baptism is to start officially that relationship with the Lord. Now, in order to do that, you now have to get rid of original sin. But the primary focus is always relationship. We enter into a relationship with the Lord. That's the key to understanding why I did not give that lady a sponsor letter. That's the key to understanding why Jesus himself was baptized. Jesus is sinless. He didn't need to be baptized for the forgiveness of sins. That was the baptism of John. And that's why John asked him, hey, why are you here? You don't need my baptism. You're spotless. The baptism that Jesus underwent, though, was to show that through cleansing oneself, through changing one's life, we are changed and we become a new person. We become a new person in God. That's why we call God Father. That's why we call Jesus brother. It's not just, a superficial name. But the whole theology behind baptism is that we are totally transformed. And that being totally transformed, we become one with God. Over the centuries, this reality, I don't want to say changed, but it became overlooked, where it became only a sign of passage, a rite of passage. It was only seen as the forgiveness of sin. But from the very beginning, it was relationship. Why do Father Regis and I, stress community life? Why do we stress everybody participating? Why do we stress everybody, move in, sit down, you in the back, move in? It's to promote that family. When you think of your baptism, don't think of it lightly. Don't think of it as a rite of passage. Don't think of being a sponsor as just a title. What we are, what we do, starts with that, with water. Why water? That's what the Jewish people used, and it was handed down to us. You could be baptized, if you remember your catechism, by water, by blood, and by desire. That's another homily. But think about who you are. Think about how it began. That lady who asked for a letter. The reason why the sponsors are so important is because they witness to their godchild. And if they don't practice the faith, what kind of witness can they give? The same with parents. If you don't go to church, if you don't pray, if you don't practice the faith, why do you have your child baptized? It means nothing to you. Let the child choose when he or she's older. Grandma, that's why if you bring the baby in to be baptized, we will say no. Because it has to start at home. Think about it. Think about what witness means. But for us here today, think about what being a child of God means. We're one with the Lord. We're one with each other.